What's up, Starcraft fans? You are watching a co-op solo mission. I am CTG and I'm going for the solo speedrun record of Alarak on Void Launch. My masteries are Alarak attack damage, Empower Me, or a sort of a split between Death Fleet cooldown and Empower Me duration, and Structure Overcharge and attack speed. So, let's go to the replay. Before we begin, a huge thank you to Zachary, who is now supporting me on the immobilization wave. He's pretty much a literal god tasteless, and yeah, he's he's really up there. Also, thank you to Neometal, who is supporting me on the pulse cannon level, and thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. So, as I start the game, activate the lucky gem, of course. This is a highly technical run that requires a lot of attention. So, I rally my first probe to my expansion, and I have it construct a pylon right away, and harvest a piece of that mineral crystal over there.
Amon has activated the central warp conduit.
This is so I am able to overcharge that area immediately, so I can expand. I need to get a very fast expansion and also start my gateway over here, so I can get so I can overcharge that. I'm overcharging the gateway so it has vision of these rocks eventually when it completes, and I send that probe back to harvest from the main instead of the expansion. The enemy, by the way, is Zerg Air. It's preferably Zerg Air. The reason why you saw a bunch of rerolls there is because I wanted to get Zerg Mutalisks and Broodlords. You can see that these buildings are overcharged. These buildings overcharged. I start an assimilator and a pylon, so I won't get supply blocked, and send this probe to get vision. Now all I need to do is wait for fortress minerals, and I start my nexus. Now that's started, I put 3 probes in the assimilator. Have that return that crystal, and then go to the middle area, this area over here, because this is where I need to intercept the first wave. I start my cybernetics core, 240. A few seconds late, but that's fine. What's more important is how fast I get my Ascendant archives and my Ascendant upgrades. I start a pylon over here,
I do not take kindly to intruders.
and overcharge it right away. They'll kill all the Zergers, and I use my probe to bait all these units over here and these units over here. The goal is for the second overcharge to do as much work as possible. You see it killed that spore crawl over there. Now I'm drawing all these other units and destroyed those. Now that's a lot of work for a single overcharge, so that's pretty important to pull off that early, so that Alarak will have an easier time. And they start my my Death Council rather. That's what it's called, and they rally both. I rally both my my Nexus to this expansion. You see both of them are rallied over there. Alarak's doing work now. He's trying to rush over this area to clear out the rest of these things over here, while I saturate my expansion. Destroy that. I said that archives are completed. Now I start the the Death Council is completed. Now I start the Ascendant archives. That's what I meant.
My blades have met the enemy.
Finish off that that Roach Warren over there. Now I'll wait for the attack wave, the second attack wave. This is what determines whether you've got the right composition. If you see Banelings in the second wave, that's the wrong composition. You need Mutalisks in the second wave, not Banelings. That's how you determine that you've got the right composition. Senate archives have completed. Now I start my upgrades, and I clear out this base. I target the 2 infestors right away. I use the deadly charge and the destruction wave, and then right click on that infestor so I can target right away. The Alarak goes to work, starting to do work on this enemy base over here. Regenerate some health. And I saturate my gases right now. And I send a probe over here to start some pylons in these specific locations. These ones near the warp conduit or near the warp exit, and one here near the left side enemy spawn. It's actually pretty important that I put one over there before 7 minutes and 30 seconds. A good time will be 6 minutes to send the probe out. Here comes the probe. So I start Ascendants and Supplicants, so we can power them right away. You can see I'm flowing a lot of minerals, so it's a good time to start these gateways. And now all I need to do is wait for the shuttles to arrive. And 7:30, I overcharge my pylon.
Hostile forces are approaching us.
And overcharge that other pylon to intercept the hybrids. Alarak alone might be able to do it, but he needs sacrifice, so in order to be more efficient, I use the overcharge to take out those hybrids. And now in this probe over here, I've sent it to the left side warp exit or shuttle exit, and they start some pylons over there. And they start the next upgrades. And the cloaking module for the Havocs. Probe's still on the way.
We're moving out now.
Start a couple more gateways over there and the forge so I can get upgrades. Also a pylon so I don't get supply blocked. I start a pylon over there in case I need to overcharge, just in case. But if not, at least it's still more supply and it's a warping point, so that's nice. So as you can see, I'm starting to get my Ascendants. I have 8 right now, and I'll need 16. That is the ideal number.
A warp conduit is powering up.
Alarak is taking care of these Broodlords and Swarmhosts. There's another Swarmhost over here. We need to finish that off, so it doesn't bother us on the bonus. We need to clear out as much as possible in the early game, because it's really hectic later on, since I need to clear everything. This is a full clear, solo, speedrun attempt as Alarak.
Vengeance for the betrayed.
Warping as much stuff as possible. I mean, I'm still floating minerals, but I will need all of that. Every single one of those minerals.
We got some visitors
I use them,
heading to our base. They don't look too friendly.
Some Ascendant attacks over there. Psionic orbs. Destroy those. And they use Death Fleet to intercept the attack wave. Destroy that. Bit of a mistake there. Alarak, as usual, wandering off on his own. Send my Death Fleet to take care of the left or the last bonus. The last bonus area. I Mind Blast the Ultralisk.
Scans are finished. Science owes you a great debt, Commander.
Take care of that infestor. There's another lurker over here, I think. Not sure.
Enemies headed for our base.
Not sure if I've taken care of it, but yeah, I need to take care of this attack wave. That's 11 minutes. Very critical. Warping more stuff. Ah, there it is. There's a Swarmhost. Mind Blast that Ultralisk. Oh, there it is. Mind Blast that lurker. Finish it off. So I warp in a bunch of supplicants so I can keep feeding my Ascendants. It's very important for Alarak that his Ascendants always have nearby supplicants, because whenever an Ascendant sacrifices a supplicant, or whenever a supplicant is sacrificed, Alarak's abilities are reset. That means you can, if you can chain the sacrifice and the attacks, you can have a lot of building damage output. I'm gonna try to demonstrate that here by attacking this the enemy base. I really need that very early on. I need an expansion here at third base. You can see I use Empower Me and I
Conduit has been activated. A wave of
Sacrifice?
shuttles is headed toward it.
to reset the
We're on the
cooldown.
clock here, people. Take that thing out.
Mind Blast that. You can see Alarak's cooldowns are always being reset using the Sacrifice. Another deadly charge takes care of that hatchery, or that hive rather. And I start, you can see I brought a probe over here. So I can start my expansion right away, my third base. Start a couple more pylons,
A wave of shuttles has been shot
and they
down.
overcharge these
Right on
buildings
time.
so they can take care of the rest of these. Because there's another attack wave at 14 minutes on the left side. Now I start a couple of robo base over here in the simulator. Those are all required. None of this is optional if you want a full clear.
Got an enemy attack coming for our base. Stay frosty.
Destroy those hybrids. You might ask, why don't they just take my my allies' base? Because that is the rules of a solo run. You cannot take your allies' expansion. You cannot take his resources. This guy, this noob, is still harvesting. He's not doing anything. He hasn't left the game. That's why I'm not getting his resources. That's why it's not resetting.
Research vessel ready. Let's get a team to that
I use the
shrine.
Death Fleet to clear out this area. Just working on those. Put down 2 pylons over here for A, warp in, and B, overcharge. There we go. Clearing out this base. That's 1 down, 2 to go. Move on to the next area. Trying to clear out these buildings.
They appear
Obviously
to be
not
launching
ideal
more
that I'm losing
shuttles toward the
ascendants.
warp conduits.
It's never ideal to lose anything, but ascendants particularly are painful to lose because you feed them, so they don't just cost minerals. They also cost the minerals of the supplicants you use to power them up. Start that. Overcharge.
Your weakness.
I destroy these shuttles, but try not to take too long.
Detecting an enemy attack.
I use
They're
a
heading
warp
towards
in
us now.
of supplicants to bait the attack wave that's supposedly heading for the bonus. And instead, they're heading for my third base. You can see this this pylon is still attacking that hive, which is good. Taking care of, there's another attack wave over here that we need to take care of. I use the ascendants to take care of those. And overcharge these pylons. Or will I even? I think I will overcharge these pylons, yeah. And warp in some sliders to finish those off. But I don't even look at those. I just overcharge and
Nice job,
look
man.
away immediately because I
Still in
still
one
need to
piece.
full clear. That means I still need to
The
delete
shuttles have been destroyed.
the last buildings over here.
You ain't going anywhere.
Start another pylon. The probe is very important. I mean, I can go for a warp prism, but those are very vulnerable unless I overcharge. So I'd rather bring the probe along since it's a ground unit. And the ground units, I have a lot of ground units to spread the damage around and to bait the attacks
A wave
of the
of
enemies
shuttles is
into each
making
other.
its way to an active warp conduit.
So a probe is actually safer to bring along than a single air unit, a single warp prism that will easily be sniped by any anti-air. Clear that. Okay, 2 bases down, 1 more to go. You can see I'm warping in Wrathwalkers. I'm getting a mix of Slayers and Wrathwalkers. They're quite comparable in terms of damage output per supply. The reason I'm getting both of them is because they stack, so the damage essentially stacks.
Fleet is ready for deployment.
So I'm waiting for the attack wave here. I want to use the Death Fleet, but I'm waiting for the attack wave first. See, as those enemies come down, I use the Psionic Orbs, finish these off. Use the Death Fleet over here, and I use that to warp to this pylon so I can finish these off. I'm getting the last. I'm getting the last Havoc upgrade. The tech weakness. Move on to the next area. Now I need to clear the last base. This is a bit tricky. This time, although it's the world record for Alarak on Void Launch solo, full clear true solo, it can still be improved. One of the ways is by getting really getting better RNG, because if the shuttle spawned here, that would have been easy to full clear. But since they spawned here, I need to run my army back. Destroy that Ultralisk, and I really need to get back to this base.
Another wave of shuttles is
I warp in some Slayers to deal damage, as well as overcharge 2 Pylons to help burst down those things. Well, the rest of my army makes its way back. You can see Alarak is he's trying his best to get over here and not get himself murdered. This Ascent is gonna die, but like I said, it can still be improved, but it's really hectic as it is. I've also started a bunch of Pylons and Slayers over here to intercept the attack wave, at least delay them. And now my army's over here clearing out the last of these hybrid. That's a huge attack wave, by the way. Ascendants are required to clear that out. My Pylons are actually doing a great job of distracting. They might not be able to finish even, but as long as I'm able to finish these off, as long as they buy enough time for my army to arrive, that's completely fine with me. So I send the probe back to warp in some more Pylons. I mean, those brutes are still fine. I do warp in some stuff over here, a couple of Slayers.
Scan complete. Thank you for your help. They would have been lost without you.
Finish these off. The annoying thing about Alarak is he tends to sacrifice his own ascendants. You can see I have 13 remaining. And ideally you want to have 16. Now, the last shuttles are spawning over here. The rule for full clear is that we need to finish off all the buildings that are initially on the map, not the ones that spawn with the attack waves. Which is why I'm rushing. I'm rushing to finish off these buildings instead of trying to go for the shuttles right away. I will go for them, but not right now. I have more important things to do, such as get the full clear time record. Warp in some more supplicants. There are shuttles over here. I mean, I do want to finish that off. I do use a Death Fleet over here. Finish off those last shuttles. Using the Death Fleet. I did get the full clear record, by the way. The time is 24 minutes and 8 seconds. Or 23 minutes and 58 seconds, rather.
Enemy dares to attack our base.
To set this attack wave. Use a bunch of ascendant attacks, Alarak attacks, and they warp over here because those 2 shuttles are getting away. I do want to get all of them. That's all I need to do. I mean, there are a bunch of enemies here, but again, the only rule for full clear is that I need to kill all the enemies that are on the map from the start, not the ones that spawn with attack waves. And this is still a full clear. But now I'm trying to get the time for the map, and to do that I need to intercept the shuttles. Or blink over there and finish off these last shuttles and end the game. There we go. Nice game.
The shuttles have been...
Hope you enjoyed that. That was really hectic. I was watching it. Man, that's really hectic. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for what else you can do, please leave that in a comment. And let's bring up the score screen. You can see that my ally did indeed do 0 anything aside from gather resources. But yeah, it's a very technical speedrun, and one mistake can end up costing you the game. Alright, if you want to help support the channel, Patreon link will be on the top right. You can see that aside from the thank you screen that appears at the beginning of the video, I do have exclusive content for patrons. So feel free to support me if you want. All right, see you